Let's freaking go. It's the Arkansas Razorback edition of SEC Live. You have your first real opponent coming up this Saturday, BYU. It is going to be in Fayetteville. And honestly, how much can you really take away from last year's beatdown of BYU? The answer to that is honestly not really a whole lot. The first thing, obviously, is teams change from year to year. But the truth here is that BYU team last year offensively was loaded. So they had a wide receiver by the name of Puka Nacua, who was the darling of the NFL as a rookie. He had the second best fantasy performance of all wide receivers this past weekend outside of Tyreek Hill. So that lets you know how good he was. And Arkansas was able to beat them because BYU's defense stunk. Now, it is a lot different this year because right now, Arkansas's offense stinks. Okay, you guys have been seeing on the film studies, and I really do appreciate all the love we've been getting on the Arkansas film study for us to actually do a giveaway. If we get to 50 live viewers tonight, we will give out this KJ Jefferson card right here that I obtained. I was actually at this event, the National, that I obtained recently. I want to give it out to you guys if we get to 50 live viewers, because what is crazy is the film studies that I put out for Arkansas actually do about the same amount of views that I get on my LSU film studies, which is my full-time job. So Arkansas fans, you guys have been showing me the most love, which is why I do a separate live stream just for you guys on Thursdays, and then on Tuesdays we do a more general SEC live stream. Now, something else is we'll get to some of the general SEC games this weekend. So obviously, pretty crazy week for Arkansas here. You play BYU, and then you go to the hardest place to play in all of college football. You have to play an 8 p.m., I say 8 p.m., a 6 p.m. game in Death Valley. And the likelihood you win that game is very little because it's hard to win at night in Death Valley. Well, Carter, Arkansas won the last time they went to Death Valley. Yes, with a coach who already had his bags packed for his next expedition. So the truth here is LSU still has a very good team, and you really need to win this game versus BYU. So, yeah, really excited about that. And, look, I come into this BYU game this weekend with this message. I strongly believe that BYU's team still is not that great. Okay, I've watched a little bit of them, not a whole lot, not as much as I would have liked to today. I got a crazy story to share. I plan on watching a lot of BYU, but I'm just going to go ahead and share this now. Last night, I had a crazy dream. And, you know, people that have known me for a while knows that I want to do sports radio or sports broadcasting on a national scale. And one of my favorite broadcasters of all time is John Madden. And John Madden woke me up in my dream and said, we need to start a college football podcast. And I was like, okay. And then he said at the end of the college football podcast, we need to review Shrimp Po' Boys. And I was like, what? And then I kind of just woke up after that. I think T-Pain was in the dream too. So I had this dream. And all I'd been thinking about was Shrimp Po' Boy. So I woke up at 6 in the morning. And I was like, I just got to have a Shrimp Po' Boy. And I eventually got one today. And I know you guys needed that information. And then a lot of other crazy stuff popped up. And you're probably like, why are you sharing this? I'm sharing this because that's why I wasn't able to watch as much BYU today as I would have liked. But what I can tell you is, despite my delirious nature here and being up since basically 4 or 5 in the morning, I don't even remember what time it was, I'm here to tell you that BYU's quarterback Keaton Slovis is good. This is making me laugh right here. Tanker, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, man. Let me know where you are in Arkansas, Tanker. All my best friends live in Fayetteville. They do. I would say a majority of my closest friends live in Fayetteville. So yeah, it's an awesome, underrated college city. Where would Fayetteville rank on the SEC city scale? Obviously, I'm biased because I'm from Baton Rouge. So I think Fayetteville's number 2 for me in the SEC. I know that's a hot take. But yeah, Take, I really appreciate it. This makes me laugh. Boom. Tough acting to acting. Huh? There you go, Tinker. Next time I'm up there, I'll let it be known on the channel. We could do like a big get together. Now I'm not a Bo Mattingly level guy. I know Bo though. But yeah, next time, I don't know, where will we go? We go to JJ's? You go to Z330? Go to Uno? Did you go to Arkansas, Tanker? Let me know. I'm sorry I've diverged all over the place. It's going to be a mess. And you're probably like, I only came to the live stream because I thought I was going to see film study. There will be no film study tonight. My live streamers know from people that have been watching me for a while now, we have a lot of fun here. And I'm here to answer your questions. Now, I do think, if I am not mistaken, that there actually is a BYU defensive tackle on this team from Arkansas. And he's like old. He's like 25, 26 years old. And he went on like a mission trip or something like that. And I think he played at Pulaski or something like that. I do not remember. This is kind of vague. I'm probably totally wrong on this. But this BYU team's experienced. They do tend to have some older players because they do obviously serve a mission and then they'll come back. Sometimes they serve it after their college careers are over. But the truth is their quarterback is Keaton Slovis, and he can play. That's all there is to it. He can play. Keaton has had a very interesting career up to this point, okay? Let me X out of this and make this go a little faster. Let's see. Here's Keaton Slovis right here, 493 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception, but a QBR of 55.8. You take a look at his career stats, and you'll see he's a lot like KJ Jefferson. He is an older quarterback who began his college career in 2019. So both of these quarterbacks actually are on the older side. They're both year 5 guys. And in theory, this is Keaton Slovis's last year. Let's see. I think Keaton Slovis can actually – how many games did he play his freshman year? Either way, we don't have to worry about that because he plays for BYU. Up to this point, you'll see his stats are actually pretty good. Okay. The Sam Houston game was interesting. They only beat them 14-0. There are some people that think BYU's coach, who I think has been mostly good, is actually towards the end of his tenure at BYU, and maybe he might be interested in going somewhere else. I don't know. I will say this, as far as BYU is concerned going into this game. I do think Arkansas is a little lucky that they are missing some of these really, really good NFL players that have played for BYU recently. Okay, so 2 years ago, they had a running back by the name of Tyler Algier, okay, who is an absolute beast for the Atlanta Falcons, okay? And last year they had Puka, who was an absolute beast, and they had another quarterback, Darren Hall, who was really good. BYU's always had good quarterback play. You know the history there. Jim McMahon, Ty Detmer, Steve Young, so on and so on. They've always had good quarterback play, and Keaton Slovis is definitely that. Taysom Hill, I mean, it's ridiculous. They're up there when it comes to the best QB producing NFL universities out there, especially for the non-heavy hitters. So you know the quarterback play is going to be good. Slovis is a very solid quarterback. It's just everything else. I don't feel they have the same skill position talent that they've had in years past. And I also feel I also feel them traveling from Utah all the way here is a major advantage if you are an Arkansas fan. That is a long trip from Utah. Now, they are used to playing behind big crowds. BYU's crowds are really good. A lot of you Arkansas fans that actually made the trip, you know that. They have a really rabid fan base, so they're going to travel pretty well. I don't think I've ever been to their stadium before, but I might be totally wrong on this. I think a lot of Utah is kind of similar to Northwest Arkansas, if that makes sense. So I do feel that that Arkansas is a better team. Right now, they are floating as the 8.5 point favorites. I think my favorite play in this game is going to be the under. Both of these teams have put out so many good skill position guys for being a non-power five, for not a non-power five, but being a non-traditional power. They have put out a lot of skill position talent. But I think this year is a matchup of some of the worst skill position groups that they have had in a while, right? Arkansas normally has one or two skill guys that are bona fide NFL players, right? Like you'll never see Arkansas just loaded too deep like an Alabama or LSU, but you'll see some years they'll have Brandon Allen and Hunter Henry and Alex Collins all on the same team. And then another year they'll have Traylon Burks and now KJ Jefferson, but it's never just like a total team. I think this year, especially if Rocket can't really go full all out this week, I think it is the KJ Jefferson show. Right now, KJ Jefferson is the number 2 ranked quarterback according to Pro Football Focus in all of college football. And I've said this repeatedly on every show that I go on, whether it's the LSU show or other college football channels or whatever. I have never seen a quarterback carry a team and a program like KJ Jefferson has done, right? You think of all the great quarterbacks that have played college football. Most of them have had elite supporting casts, Pro Bowl level players surrounding them. The only other quarterback who just did not have the elite talent around him was Cam Newton. And I think KJ at this point is Cam Newton level of how much he is carrying this team. Now, he's not as good as Cam. I don't think anybody would disagree with me there. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting. Taker says Rocket will not be playing, by the way. So there you go. You heard it here first from Tanker. I had not heard that yet. But then again, like I said, my day's been pretty crazy. So yeah, Rocket's out. Now it's going to be the KJ show again. The thing that would bother me the most, if you are an Arkansas fan, is the simple truth that last week you had to run KJ Jefferson as much as you had to run him. Okay? When you're playing an inferior opponent, the one thing you don't want to rely on as your best rushing play is quarterback sweep. And it is shocking how many times Arkansas had to do that. And it is shocking how many times KJ got hit pretty hard in this game. And the thing is, it wasn't KJ getting hit. It was him doing the hitting. So, yeah, I would be very worried if I was Arkansas going into this game. I think defensively you're going to be fine. I do. I think this defense obviously has a chance to be the best one under Sam Pittman. But you've not played a good offense yet, and this is going to be a good challenge. And you won't really play a good offense until you play LSU. And I think Arkansas's defense will be in a lot of trouble when they play LSU's offense because there are a lot of matchups that I like for LSU in that matchup, but we'll cross that bridge when it gets there. All right. And we'll talk more about LSU Mississippi State in just a second as we go through some more of the general SEC games. But for right now, I like the under, and for right now, I do like BYU covering. So there you go. Now, I do want to shout out our friends before I give you my Tennessee-Florida prediction, and because most of you are here for Arkansas, guess what? Let's go here real quick. What's up, Lawson? Lawson said, who's number one? What is that in reference to? Steel Licks wants another pick six. You have 2 for 2 so far in games this season with pick sixes. So what's wrong with the third? Now, I need my fellow KJ Jefferson fans to take a look at this. If you want to support me, please go sign up for Underdog Fantasy. The link is down below. Make sure you use the promo code Carter for a deposit match bonus. Okay. Now, Underdog Fantasy does something so much fun called the over-under pick'ems. Okay. And for me, I like to play very low stakes, right? Because I like to have fun with it. I think a lot of you would like to have fun with it. And that's what I love about Underdog Fantasy is you don't have to play the absolute highest stakes. So for me, I am loving these stakes here. Higher passing yards for KJ Jefferson, I am with it. Higher rushing yards for KJ Jefferson, I am with it. Okay. All right, let's see. Higher rushing yards for KJ Jefferson. I'm going to go lower here for AJ Green. And I am actually going to go over here for Chase Lassiter. And there you go, $1. Let's see, $1 to win 6. Why not? So let me know if you guys like this play right here. And you could do this now on Underdog Fantasy. We're going to call this the Hog Parlay. All right. Promo code Carter. Type Y for yes. Oh, who's the number one quarterback on PFF ahead of KJ Jefferson? I don't think it's Caleb Williams. I believe it's JJ McCarthy of Michigan. Okay. But once again, JJ McCarthy has freaking Blake Corum. He's got Edwards as a running back too. He's got the offensive line that's won the Joe Moore Award 2 years in a row. KJ Jefferson has a not good offensive line. He's got wide receivers that play D2 and D3 football. Underdog Fantasy, underdogfantasy.com. Yeah, PFF's grading's a little bit different. Now, that's not PFF saying that they think J.J. McCarthy is better than Caleb Williams. I think Caleb Williams was still in the top 5. But I'm pretty sure it was McCarthy. And KJ was the highest ranked quarterback in all of college football. So type Y for yes, type in for no. Are you feeling this pick'em right here? I'm going lower on AJ Green's rushing yard total at 63.5. Should I do over for Tesla? $1 to win 10. That sounds pretty cool. We might throw Tesla on there. You can also do insurance. Do insurance here. 4 pays 6. 3 pays 150. We'll do the insurance. Why not? So do y'all like this one? KJ Jefferson over 48.5 rushing yards. AJ Green under 63.5 rushing yards. Chase Roberts under or over higher 40.5. Isaac Tesla higher 42.5. Jared, what's good? So Tanker, you think I should go over with AJ Green? I don't know. Here's what I think, Tanker. And I'll be as blunt as I possibly can. I don't know how good AJ Green is. When I watch him run, I think he is a very, very good player. But it takes perfect blocking for him to do something. And if that's the case, that's not somebody that I want to rely on. But you are right. He is going to get a lot of carries. I also think Tanker, for me, if Arkansas is smart, I would split. Excuse me. I would split the workup. I would split the workup between AJ Green and Dominion because you're going to need these guys for the rest of the year. And I also think Dominique Johnson could still play. He's just had cruddy run blocking. Yeah, no doubt about it. What's up, Chris? Good to see you. I like that. I used to have a bandmate named Chris Williams. Chris Wilson, excuse me. Let's see. I don't know why my dictionary app popped up. Now let me know. I'm thinking about placing that. But if you want to do that, please sign up. Use my promo code Carter. A $10 deposit with my promo code Carter gets you $10 back. $100 gets you $100 back. So if you put in 100, you have 200 to play with. If you put in 10, you got 20 to play with. And you could do as many of those $1 ones. Build it up if you win. You got to get lucky. It's hard to do it. But it's all Underdog Fantasy, UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code Carter. Now, so there you go. For those that just joined us, you missed my John Madden dream. You missed it. Now, what I want to show you is the top 25 matchups. Like we talked about briefly on Tuesday, I do think if Arkansas wins versus BYU, they become a ranked team. I could see it happen. You go down here, and you'll see Miami, Florida versus Bethune-Cookman. Miami is a 54-point favorite. I saw this line at, I think, 40 at one point, and it's all the way up to 54. That is crazy. I'm pretty sure I saw that. But you'll see right here with the top 25, okay, none of these games are any good. And there's a lot of non-top 25 teams here. I don't know why it's showing that. Might be a little bit of a glitch here. You'll see this week of games just suck. Last week's of games were actually pretty good. So, yes. But obviously, we're going to focus on the SEC here. And if there's any game you want to break down, you guys let me know. And we can do more Arkansas breakdown as well. So, let's see here. Ole Miss versus Georgia Tech. Could that get interesting? Oh, you were thinking Dominion. So, Tanker, we should take the under. You're thinking Dominion instead of AJ Green. So I'm glad I didn't just click yes. And look, we're 30 viewers away from giving out the KJ Jefferson card. Or how about this? If we don't get there, and if we get 2 underdog signups using my promo code Carter, we'll give this out. This KJ Jefferson. And this is a refractor. For those that know anything about cards, this has that nice little rainbow finish on it. Super nice. I love these cards. But if we get 2 underdog signups, we'll just give that away. Yeah, Jared, you need to, man. Yeah, the higher, lower are so much fun. Now, I'm going to go through these games. I have not picked a lock of the week. So far, we're 1 of 1 on our lock of the weeks, 2 and 1 on plays that we've given out on the channel. Don't forget, tomorrow we will release a short on the channel with the SEC game that I like the most. Obviously, Alabama, 33-point favorites over South Florida. That is just crazy. Man, I don't know. I kind of like South Florida here. Alabama, they play big games. And this is the first time, I think, in a few decades that Alabama's gone on the road and played a non-Power 5 team. And it's not just Alabama. It is rare for any SEC team to go on the road and play a non-Power 5 team. It is weird. It is rare. Or a team from the group of 5, however you want to phrase it. Missouri, Kansas State is interesting. Kansas State is a 3.5-point favorite on the road. I thought I would have gotten a few more points from the Missouri side of things. What do you guys think about LSU and Mississippi State? Obviously, our LSUers, to tune in at 8:15. We'll have our normal live stream there. Georgia, South Carolina, 27.5-point spread here. I am leaning South Carolina to cover. I know that's dangerous to do. Every time I go against these Georgia big spreads, they always cover. Georgia always covers like champions. But I'm leaning South Carolina. Tennessee, Florida. Obviously, the big game in the SEC this weekend is this one. It's up to 6.5 now. If it gets up to 7.5, I would take Florida. My favorite play in this game is actually the under. I think both defenses are actually going to be pretty solid in this game. I think we are overvaluing the Tennessee offense with Joe Milton. I think they're playing the wrong quarterback. I could totally fall. I could totally fall flat on my face. Stone cold lead pipe locks. You're right. Not sure about the position. Charles, what's up, man? Good to see you. So there you go. But yeah, I've covered everything that I wanted to cover here. Obviously, my BYU research kind of got sidetracked with how crazy the stream has been up to this point. But I do think it's going to be a close game. I do. And I also like the under. I don't like how either one of these offenses are playing right now for Arkansas, BYU. So, yeah, Lawson, I really hate that spot. I really hate that spot from an Arkansas perspective. I will be at the game. I will be there. So if Arkansas fans want to come meet me now, I'll be with a bunch of LSU friends. Hit me up. I want to try to make a game in Fayetteville this year, though. Maybe that helps grow the Arkansas side of things. I don't know. Maybe Tanker could hook me up with some ticks or a tailgate to go to. I normally have a tailgate hookup, but all my friends have kids now, so I don't even want to get out. Lawson, you're going to the game Saturday? You got ticks? You got ticks for your boy? You got ticks? I thought I saw Kale the Whale in here earlier. Where's my guy Kale the Whale from Benton? He was in here earlier. He was getting ready to play in the Salt Bowl. UI Poo. There he is. Kale the Whale. That's my guy, man. I wish I could say go Benton Panthers, but I can't. You won't ever hear me say that. And ironically, my biggest rivalry with Benton wasn't even football. It was soccer. We had some legendary soccer matches. Legendary. I could go on and on and on. Yeah, Jared, I should have gone up to that game. It was fun seeing LSU win the West that day. But yeah, so Tanker, I was just kidding. I've been to so many Razorback tailgates. They are really good, especially for a town not known for tailgating. Now, is in like a top 5 SEC tailgate spot? No, it's not. But it's very good. I've had my fair share of times. And honestly, most tailgating, like obviously LSU is just number one. And I know it's going to come off super biased, but it's number one. Okay. But I will also say this. I remember me and my buddy, I won't say his name, but before an Arkansas LSU game in Fayetteville that I went to, he and I chugged, because it was cold, he and I chugged Fireball shots. And Fireball was kind of becoming a thing, right? And we thought the Fireball shots would warm us up because like Fireball, it gives you a tingling feeling, right? It's melted big red going down your trachea, and boy was I wrong. That didn't help at all. I didn't even feel drunk. I felt dizzy. And Fireball's not bad, but when you chug it over time, I don't know, it kind of starts feeling like battery acid. And what gets people is, you see, I did the Fireball shot just straight from the bottle. But when you do, like, Fireball has made so much money with those small bottles, right? Those small bottles. That is where Fireball has made their hay. Like, when it comes to that size, nobody, and I mean nobody, has done more than Fireball and 5 Hour Energy. No one has made more profit when it comes to that. Nobody. Fireball, 5 Hour Energy. Nobody. But yeah, Fayetteville tailgates, they go down, man. They go down. Ain't nothing like home, though. So AJ Green, 5.5 yards per carry this season. That is true. But here's my thing. The one stat I think that's very overrated is yards per carry, for a few reasons. Number one, I've become such a nerd with all these like advanced stats. I truly do think, outside of like a few really good running backs, that the RB position is a little overvalued in the college game. It's way overvalued in the NFL game, and you've seen that with the contracts. College football, the running backs matter more than they do in the NFL, and I would even argue in high school as well. College running backs matter. But I think they matter only if you have a really, really, really good one, right? Like, for me, Rocket Sanders is a very good back. But I am not sure anybody is producing behind this Arkansas offensive line right now. They cannot open any holes. It's predictable. Holes are being filled quickly. Okay? So, for me, I don't know. I don't know how much Rocket is changing right now with the way Arkansas is running the football. I was appalled by some of the calls. And I understand a lot of you don't like Kendall Browse. I will say this. Kendall Browse's rushing schemes are so freaking good. The one thing he sucked at was red zone play calling. But here's the truth about red zone play calling. Everybody sucks at it. Everybody sucks in the red zone. There might be 5 good red zone play callers on the planet Earth, and one of them is Andy Reid. And he's not going to be coaching you guys anytime soon. Steven says, do I have any yards after contact numbers? I do. We can pull them up right now for SEC StatCat. I've not looked at them, though. I'm going to be real with you. I've not looked at them. But I can tell you that the film has told me that I can't blame the Arkansas running backs because they haven't had any holes to run through. And I've been critical of AJ Green and Dominion last year because they didn't really do a whole lot for me when I put on the tape. But now you can't see anything. There's nowhere for them to run. And I'm a huge, huge Dominique Johnson guy. I will never forget his performance versus Texas in 2021. I think he could still play. I don't think he just forgot how to play football. They need holes, though, and they need better play calls. And they need these offensive tackles to grow up pretty quick. So yeah, I think I just think everybody surrounding KJ Jefferson needs to step up in a major way. I really do believe it. Steven Rogers. I love that name. That's the name of Brian Regan's former opener. His name is Steven Rogers, too. Really good comic. He's been on Fallon, a few others. I don't know if he spells it like you. I think he spells it like you, Steven. But welcome. Good to see you. Oh, you got the Eiffel Tower. I went there last year. That's cool stuff. We didn't get to go on top of the Eiffel Tower. I didn't know you had to book that tour months in advance. Next time we go to Paris, we're probably going to try and do it, but I won't have Paris money in a while. Still paying off the first trip. And we didn't get to go in the Louvre because the Louvre closes on Tuesdays. He is, Jared. He is the best offensive line coach in the conference. But he's got a new group. You know, Bo Limmer is the only returning guy, and obviously Latham. But they're kind of disjointed right now. K Wood, what's up, brother? Oh yes, Chris Evans. That's right. It would be me to bring up Brian Regan's opener before Captain America. There you go, Steven Rogers. Let's go here. North Carolina -7.5 versus Minnesota. What's the over-under on that game? You know who would be mad at me about the Steven Rogers thing is Van. Because Van is such a big Marvel guy. Inside joke from our PHLers. 7.5. What's the over-under on this game? Let me give you an answer here really quickly. Let's see. Over-under. 50.5 for North Carolina, Minnesota? Interesting. You would think, Derek, that would be the over because Minnesota returned like a good quarterback. Did they not? The Greek guy. I would have thought the over would be the play there. I'll also say this, okay? I would fade Mac Brown in at least one game this year that they should win, but they don't. That's just how I feel about Mac Brown right now. He must be pretty distracted with this Tez Walker stuff. I know Minnesota plays lower scoring games, though. So I could see this game being like, I don't know. Eighth on, yeah, Colin, whatever. I don't. I thought it was supposed to be pretty good, but Minnesota's offense hadn't been what we thought it was going to be. But yeah, I would guess I would like the over there, but I don't know. I kind of think UNC's offense is going to stagnate at some point because Longo's not there anymore. But we'll see. Now, something else that I want to bring up here, and I want to be as perfectly clear as I possibly can. All right. I want to talk about Deion Sanders. I love the fact that the Colorado State coach said what he said. I disagreed with it. Honestly, I actually know the Colorado State's coach's son. And I just didn't agree with what he said about, well, I grew up, I take my hat off and my sunglasses off when I sit down and shut up. But I don't want him to shut up. I want more fire into the Deion Sanders narrative. I freaking love it. College football is better when there is animosity. Okay? I love it. I freaking love it. And I think the reason why I love the Deion Sanders story so much is he says so much stuff that I strongly agree with him. And he also says so much stuff that I strongly disagree with him. And that is perfect. I don't ever want you guys to tune into me saying stuff on here that you guys agree with. I know a lot of you probably disagree with me about the AJ Green take I had a minute ago. That's perfectly fine. That is perfectly fine. Okay? The truth is, we need more compelling people in college football. There's so much coach speak in college football. There's not a whole lot of truth telling in college football. And if the Colorado State coach wants to throw more gasoline on the fire, effing do it. Jay Norvell, I know his son. I love it. I love it. I do. I've said this plenty of times. One of the best things that has happened to women's sports is Kim Mulkey going to LSU. Do you know how many more eyeballs are going to be on women's basketball this year? I don't know I'm an LSU fan, but just look at what's happened on women's basketball just in this past year. Because Kim Mulkey is a villain in the eyes of everybody. You should want that in your sport. If you want your sport to grow, you need villains. You need people that people just don't like. Like, be honest. How many of you truly hate Nick Saban? You probably don't. You probably don't. I know I don't. And he plays at the school that's beaten my favorite school more than anyone else. Okay? But no one truly dislikes Nick Saban. Maybe 5% of the population. There are a lot of people that do not like Deion Sanders. There are a lot of people for a litany of reasons. And Deion is the perfect person who has an equal amount of people that truly do hate him, and he has an equal amount of people that truly do love him. Now, there's probably more that love him than do hate him, but there are some people that freaking hate his guts. And what even makes the Deion Sanders story so much better is Florida State fans hate him. They hate him, okay? And what would be so freaking wild, the wildest college football storyline, is if somehow, some way we get Colorado versus Florida State in the playoff. That would be so freaking insane. Could you imagine that? But true story. I was on a Florida State show a few weeks ago for the LSU Florida State game. Okay. I go on there, and guess what? Guess what happens? I tried to give out a Deion Sanders figurine right here. Kind of like I tried to give away a KJ Jefferson card tonight. We didn't have enough people in here. So I tried to give this away. Really cool thing. I was going to pay for the shipping and all of it. And guess what happened? Guess what happened? Florida State fans started trashing me. And that was before what Deion said about them a few days ago. All right? Dude, Florida State fans are like, hell no, we don't want it. His number is retired at Florida State. His number. So, look, I'm just telling you right now, man. He is the perfect college football story. Perfect. Once again, half the people love him, half the people hate him. Okay? And the difference between him and like someone like a Saban and him and like a Kirby Smart, people hate Kirby and Nick because they win so much. Deion's not won anything. He's won 2 college football games at the Power 5 level, and people still hate him. It is a great freaking story. Need more of that. Same thing with Kim Mulkey. They just have that persona. They have that aura. They have that star quality. They're magnetic, and people just hate them for a lot of reasons. Some justified, some not. They just do. They just do, and I love it. That's what made Floyd Mayweather great. I hate Floyd Mayweather's guts. He knows how to play a villain. Not everybody does. Money Mayweather. Now, hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. Thanks to Jared, our top super chatter of the evening. And I want to shout out all the Arkansas fans that actually tune in. Film studies are great. I want to make the live stream a thing. I want to keep doing this Thursdays at 6. And I have a feeling next week. What's up, Dante? Yeah, there's so many bandwagon Alabama fans. And the thing that sucks about it is most, I would say outside of Louisiana, of course, most of my LSU subscribers are in Alabama. So Joshua's in Mississippi, Skipper's in Mississippi. But Jordan, of course, is in Alabama, and Jared's in Alabama. We got a lot of Alabamas. Okay? So the truth here, and I want everyone here to listen. Okay? Clear eyes, what is it? Clear ears, clear eyes, whatever the Maverick phrase is from Top Gun. I kind of forgot what I was saying because my dog started barking. Oh yeah, but there's a lot of Alabama viewers. There's so many Alabama bandwagon fans in the South. You guys know who they are. And yeah, Dante, you're in Alabama too, dude. And Dante knows this. There are so many bandwagon Alabama fans. So there's so many. Dude, Jared, I got to be honest, man, and this is going to get to his head, and I hate it. Jared is authentically funny. He is so damn funny. I hate that Deion only has 7 toes and can still outrun me by a lot. Mick's in Alabama. So you see a lot of my LSU folks live in Alabama. Yeah, I think what's going to be really crazy about Deion is he's going to be one of these coaches. Like, Phil Jackson was like a fine player, right? And an elite coach. But how many? I want you to think about this. How many elite all-time great players are elite all-time great coaches? There's like a few. Like Lenny Wilkins is one of those. But you look at these Michael Jordans. Michael Jordan tried to be a GM. He was terrible. Jason Kidd's not been a great coach. Steve Nash has not been a great coach. He was terrible. Patrick Ewing is an absolutely awful coach. Football, you never really see elite football players become coaches, right? Ed Reed really couldn't get started. And who are some other elite players that tried to be coaches? There's really just not a whole lot, right? There's just not. You look at the best college football and NFL coaches. Look it up for yourself right now. And look at the colleges that they play for. They're nobodies, right? Obviously the past 5 years, now they've not had good starts, but the past 5 years, two of the best coaches have been Mike Tomlin and the Bills coach and Sean McDermott. They both went to William and Mary. So most great coaches were terrible players or D2 or D3 players. Mike McDaniel was a 4-string quarterback at Yale. All right. Deion is an all-time great, bona fide, top 50 pro football player of all time. And he looks to be a transcendent coach. Now, this could fall apart quickly, but we'll see. Purdue Hill, Alabama. Dante, did you get your card in the mail? Let me know. If you didn't, hit me up in the Discord. Evergreen. Man, I don't know. Evergreen sounds like a good part of Alabama. Evergreen just sounds like a good city. Oh, Evergreen. Now, from LSU folks, we'll be live at 8:15 on the LSU channel. Arkansas folks, we will have a film study probably released Saturday night or Sunday morning from your BYU game. Looking forward to seeing it. If you're watching this after the fact, comment down below. Do you think Arkansas covers the spread? Let me know. Now we have a little neighborhood team. I'm going to go check out. They have like a little soccer team. I'm going to go check them out right now. So appreciate each and every one of you supporting what we're doing here. And we'll talk to you soon, okay? It is Power Hour SEC. Boom. And tonight, we're doing Caesar salad with some barbecue chicken. Let's go. Let's freaking go.